Hey guys, Fusebox back on Raid Shadow Legends, and real quick, if you wouldn't mind signing in, subbing up, maybe drop some comments, hit the like button if you like it. I appreciate it. But what I'm going to do today, we have the Shadowkin faction coming soon to our Faction Crypts. We're all going to want to jump in and beat that, whether you're still going for Lydia because of the stupid skinwalkers. Worst luck. Let's just look at this real quick. My struggle so hard with the skinwalkers. No legendaries. And of all of these epics, Basher is the one I would want. I showed to have a Steel Skull, but apparently I ate it. So unforgivable. I don't have a Steel Skull or a Basher. It's killing me inside. Anyways, today I want to talk about, I got a really amazing champ during the last 10x when we were doing the Fusion Fragment event. I got Nobel. So I'm going to talk about Nobel. And be realistic about what he does. He does good damage, like really good damage, not top tier, but really, really good damage. But this guy can do some serious control. So let's look at his skills real quick. Smell Fear, his A1, he attacks one enemy. It has a 50% chance of decreasing the duration of 2 buffs by 1. If they're under a fear or true fear, that goes to a 75% chance of removing all buffs down by 1. So this can be really cool in Arena, in Faction Wars, in Doom Tower, anywhere you're facing all these enemies that buff themselves up. Definitely cool. Now, his A2, this is on a 2-turn cooldown when you book him out. He will he'll attack one enemy. This hits pretty hard. It ignores 30% of the target's defense. Then it fills his turn meter by a quarter of his turn meter, 25%. If they're under fear or true fear, it will decrease the cooldown of his dismay, which is his A3. This is on a 3-turn cooldown, so if you're cooling it down on a 2-turn cooldown, you're going to be using Harbinger and Dismay almost continuously. It's really cool if you set them up right. This attacks all enemies with a 100% chance of decreasing all their turn meters by 20%. If they're under a fear or true fear, he will actually steal that turn meter. That is amazing because it brings him right instantly back into Harbinger, and that will be on a 2-turn cooldown, cooling down Dismay, getting him right back to it. And then he does have a passive. Anytime a turn meter is fully depleted on one of the enemy champions, he will have a 75% chance with books of placing a true fear. That's a pretty amazing ability. So there's a couple ways to set him up. Turn meter control. You can use somebody like, say you take Herndig. He can fully deplete somebody's turn meter, and by doing that, you have a 75% shot of putting a true fear on them when it happens. You can use Cold Heart to do that, so that's pretty neat. His setup clearly does a lot of turn meter manipulation, gets him extra turns. So I am trying him out in a Relentless set. Extra turns with those small cooldowns can pay off big time. He does do good damage, but I've got him in a middle of the road build. He's got, decent crit rate, decent crit damage. He's got decent decent attack, fair health, and just enough to try him out with his accuracy. And after seeing this, even though one of his hard-hitting moves, it's a single target, does ignore 30% damage, in a Savage set, he would really do some serious damage. Now, Masteries, let's take a peek real quick. Sniper, it doesn't increase the chance of fear or true fear. So really, other than removing buffs, this isn't going to do a whole lot. But I went for kind of a damage build. So I went ahead and took Helm Smasher because I think Waves is where he's going to shine. With the exception of heroes, bosses like Fae, the Dark Fae, that would be a pretty good place to bring him. He can actually do some damage while doing turn meter manipulation and possibly be your nuker. You'll see in a minute. I went with accuracy because you saw my build is middle of the road. I wanted more accuracy, and because he does so much turn meter, I went ahead and took Evil Eye for a little bit more. Just kind of a basic trying him out. I am going to be using him with a lot of people that do freezes, stuns, so I did take Opportunist to increase that damage. So let's just kind of check him out on his own. His affinity would rather be here than on 12, so we'll just go in here and kind of watch him on, we'll put it on ×1 and watch him go through his moves and what they do. ×1. All right, so Serpent's coming out everywhere. We'll take another good look. Aesthetically, he's really cool. This is that hard-hitting, ignores defense move. That's his A1. He should come right back around. Now, if we had Fear and True Fear coming into play here, he would be coming back and forth between A2 and A3 constantly, but that A2 decreases A3, so let's speed this up. Really cool looking moves, though, by the way. You know, he's just got a strike there with his big spear, reaper, scythe. But there we decreased the debuff or the buff on Skull Crown. You can see how this would be useful in Arena as well. Faction Wars, which is kind of why I'm going over him. Faction Wars will be opening up soon. If you got this guy, he is worth building. You see what he does. Let's kind of show how you could set him up to get the most out of him, and we'll compare his damage to other champions. So one way to set him up, we're just going to go like Dragon's 20 and see what he does, basically on waves. Then I'll speed through it. This, we're taking turn meter down with Lysandra, with Deacon Armstrong. We've got both Cold Heart and Herndig can take turn meter 100% on one of their moves anytime, and so can Nobel himself. Anytime we drop turn meter fully, it's going to, we'll start this out on ×1 and watch how he works. He'll put True Fear out. So we're not bringing in a Fear champion. We're bringing him, and we're tearing down turn meter to the point where when he gets his turn, he's going to deplete that turn meter and put True Fear up on 1, 2, 3. A 75% chance, so that's not bad at all. He locked them out. Of course, this team has so much turn meter control, we're not worried about it. So let's watch his damage for just a moment. We're pulling solid hits with him, right? Definitely solid hits. So let's speed this up. Watch this wave one more time. Anytime any of these heroes break that turn meter down to 0, he has a 75% shot at actually putting up a True Fear. We just got one there. Definitely handy for waves, and this team has so much control, turn meter control, that it's not going to matter anyway. So the boss, we don't have any poisoners. I will come back. Well, let's kind of just see. You can't control the turn meter of this boss, so I'll come back at the end. We'll see if we beat him, and we'll kind of compare damage. We do have a Herndig who should outshine him, and Cold Heart, who if she gets a couple of Heart Seekers, will outshine him too, but we'll check it out. We're approaching the end. We have no poisoners, but we do get a big hit out of Cold Heart. So right here, you can see he's a solid damage dealer. He's not going to keep up with somebody like Herndig. Herndig's pretty amazing, and Cold Heart gets those huge hits on that dragon. So we're going to try another setup. I'll be right back. Okay, so this is going to be fun to watch. What I'm doing is bringing in Elder Skarg, who's going to put up True Fear for me on everybody, meaning that every benefit we get out of Nobel is going to happen almost every time he gets a turn. Now, on top of this, we're bringing a bunch of debuffers, and that is because they'll benefit Elder Skarg. At some point, he'll get those 6 hits in, making him pretty much the best single target damage dealer in the game. So it'll be fun to watch Nobel. He'll always be juggling between A2 and A3, so we'll slow it down again, just and kind of watch this first wave at least. We're just throwing up debuffs, controlling them, burning them, doing everything we can. But our first move is going to deplete turn meter. Now Elder Skar's putting up True Fear on everybody. So when we get back to Nobel here, he's going next. He'll use his big hit. It does drop his cooldown because True Fear was up. So he'll come back around this time, and with True Fear up, he'll use his A3. He'll steal that turn meter, go again. Just drop the cooldown one more time. Absolutely amazing. And he's ready to go with his A3 again. And if we get any procs from our Relentless set, he's just coming right back around. It's ridiculous. He can do all this in one move. So again, we use his A3, rip their turn meter. We stole one person. 2 people don't have True Fear, so we only stole half of that. But that's still an amazing move. There goes our A2. We didn't get the cooldown that time, so let's speed this up. Just because True Fear wasn't up at the moment, but we're laying it again and rinse and repeat. He's just going to continuously use those 2 moves as long as True Fear is up when he gets going. It gets the ball rolling. So I'm going to come back at the boss. We do have a poisoner this time, but this is a slower team. It's just a fun team to watch. We'll come back at the boss and see how this fared. Let's watch him a little bit longer. We just ripped their turn meter down. We didn't steal it, but True Fear is up. So from this point on, we're dropping that cooldown every time, and he'll come back around right here. As soon as he does, he's going to steal all that turn meter. Two of them, they're dropping their true fears. I'll come back on the boss. We'll see how he does. So we actually have a lot going on for the dragon this time. No doubt we're going to beat him. But the solid damage he's throwing out, he's got some competition from Elder Skarg. And of course, we've got Uragrim throwing out tons of poison. So it'll be really interesting to see how he holds up here, because he is one of my bigger damage dealers here as far as raw damage. I think he'll probably stack up pretty good looking at the numbers. We didn't bring decreased defense or weaken. That's why the waves took so long. But this is such a fun team. I had to put him together with somebody that threw out fear. And then I wanted to complement all the debuffs for Elder Skarg. It's just kind of fun. But yeah, an easy win. We had no worries, no troubles. Go ahead and take a move. So let's sell this. And how did we do? And Uragrim did pull ahead of him, but he held his own against Crypt King Grawl. Elder Skarg might be missing some gear. Now that I look at him, he might be missing some gear. But he can seriously juggle back and forth between those moves. So let me set something up. Let's see if we can try him out in arena. He's going to be solid in arena, but probably somebody you use for specific teams. All right, so if you're dealing with you want him when you need to remove or lower cooldowns, but you also want to put fear up, and that does make him tricky. And Elder Skarg's probably not set up too well. But we'll just kind of see how he's going to perform. Where's just a plain Jane team, I guess. So we can debuff. We can tear their turn meter down, giving us a chance to come back around to him and just see how he performs. He's, like I say, I haven't built him out to be a nuker, but I think he could pull the job off. So let's just kind of buff up. Let's see. We'll try to rip their turn meter down just a bit. Hopefully get break defense on 3 of them. We'll take it, right? And let's keep him from taking a turn. We do have True Fear up on 2 because he pairs really good with people like Rosin, who drops 100% turn meter across the board. So we did True Fear both Fushan and really good Stagnite. So here we can actually take somebody out with his A2, ignoring some defense, or we can go ahead and just hit them all. Looking at where they're at, that's probably our best bet. So I don't have 100% crit. So of course he didn't kill somebody. He's not made out to be a nuker, but he certainly could be a pseudo nuker that tears turn meter down with the rest of the team. So these things are going to play out super good on bosses who need turn meter depletion. He'll actually bring some damage with it. And it's going to play out really well against, definitely in the faction wars for the Shadowkin. It's going to do really well in Doom Tower. He'll do really well, but I don't have enough accuracy yet. I really think the accuracy is probably more important than the other stats. So I need to make sure I've got him around 300 accuracy. He's doing this all at about 180 speed because he comes back around so often and steals turn meter as long as you can land a fear. You can bring Miscreated Monster to get those fears rolling. Any hero that brings, there's Fearmonger. Anybody that brings fear or rips turn meter way down, like Rosin just did, can actually pull up that True Fear on the entire team, or 75% chance anyway. Really fun champ. That's what I take out of this. He's super fun. He does a little bit of, he's going to be good on people like the Dark Fae. You could possibly fit him into your team against the Scarab boss, bringing damage while tearing down turn meter on a pretty consistent basis. I definitely like him. He's super fun and a great addition for the Shadowkin faction, at least. He's not going to change a lot of people's games, but if you are lacking turn meter and you're trying to bring damage, he's literally top notch in that position. So I wanted to go over him. I was super excited when I saw him. Let's take one more look because his aesthetics are amazing. Where is this guy? Didn't really take a minute to check him out. But he is cool. He's got serpents climbing out of his eye holes. Like, you can't beat that. Pretty cool design. Definitely unique in the game, for sure. But he's got this scythe thing. Let's see if we can get in on that. It's got all kinds of, ethereal fire coming off of it. He's a really, really cool looking champ. I'm not sure if those are horns or the tails of these serpents, but he's all tatted up with serpents. definitely a cool champion. If you got him, I say he's an amazing champion. You'll have to decide, is he what you need or is he not what you need for the time being? But if you're lacking turn meter control and need some more damage in any type of wave, he's amazing. Any boss that you can manipulate turn meter probably could do some good on the Ice Golem boss, and you just have to line his affinity up. I like that he's not another Magic champion. That I was excited to see too. There are so many good Magic champions, but a really cool looking and a really unique kit. So if you got Noble, I love my champions. If they have a use in the game, I love them all, right? There are just a few that are terrible, but most of them, I definitely try to find a place for them, but I was proud to get him. Anyways, guys, if you take a minute, like, comment, sub, I appreciate it. And until next time, enjoy the grind.